Okay, hello everyone. Clarke Towson here. I'm the CEO of INTJ Billing. Today's video, I'd like to discuss an article from news.com.au. Article title is Trading Website IBC Exchange Exposed as Scam After Queensland Man Loses $80,000. The Aussie dad thought he was taking charge of his finances, but instead he would never see his hard-earned cash again. An Australian man is speaking out after a group of online scammers coaxed him into giving away $80,000. Oliver from northern Queensland lost his fortune to a fake cryptocurrency platform called IBC Exchange. News.com.au knows of one other Australian couple who were scammed out of $70,000 from the same outfit. For Oliver, his nightmare began when his adult daughter mentioned she was using an investment platform to grow her wealth and was periodically putting money into her account. Interested in doing something similar, Oliver looked around and came across a Google advert for IBC Exchange. From there, he registered his interest and was manipulated into transferring tens of thousands of dollars. The sophistication was beyond belief, he told News. The technology and layers of fraud they used was just incredible. They created website portals complete with logins and a real-time dashboard of the stock market, and even paid him monthly dividends to convince him that they were the real deal. Oliver remembers how a well-spoken English guy called Richard Gibson, supposedly a funds manager, created an account for him. He had to show 100 points of ID to get his login details. Oliver had about 23,000 US in cryptocurrency, which he transferred into his IBC account. US and Australian stocks were traded and he could view the stock market in real time, or so he thought. He was told he couldn't withdraw his funds for 4 months. Right, so there's the first red flag. Well, actually, there's more before that, but there's one red flag right there. Similar to a term deposit, to give it time to accrue gains. So from June until September, he watched his investment rapidly grow. Every month he was paid a dividend of $700. The thing was growing very well, he said. We'd speak together 2 to 4 times a week. We'd message over WhatsApp and Signal. His initial 23,000 US ballooned to $67,000 US. After the 4 months was up and it was time to redeem his investment in full, that was when the shit really started to hit the fan, according to Oliver. After the investment had matured, Oliver looked to cash out, but this proved easier said than done. There's another red flag. There were a number of fees before he could access the funds. It took him a few days to get to it, and by then his investment had increased even more to 103,000 US. Because the fees he had to pay were a percentage of the investment, that meant the fees doubled over the space of a few days. Another red flag. The way they got me on the hook was by the time it needed to be redeemed, it had almost doubled. Then you then had to stump up. He forked out 35,000 US to the scammers, but there were still many more hoops to jump through. Then they said to me, how would you like your money? We can give your money either in Australian dollars or crypto. They had to convert it from crypto to Australian dollars. There was another fee for that. Now they tried to charge him 28,000 US for the conversion fee. That was when Oliver started to realize something was amiss. By this time, I'm realizing I've got this hook in my lip. It ain't coming out, he recalled. There were so many red flags that I missed. I'm an idiot. IBC Exchange told Oliver they were using an intermediary at a crypto trading firm called Gemini to convert his cash. Suspicious about the massive conversion fees, he decided to contact Gemini direct. Here he learned the name of the intermediary he'd been given was not a real employee at Gemini. Sensing his doubt, IBC employees started trying to pressure him to pay up, saying he had 48 hours to hand over the money or his account would disappear. By this point, his investment was sitting at US $200,000. To get them off his back, Oliver pretended he had no money left, saying he had borrowed some of the previous cash from his children. However, they still continued to email him with new floats and stock options. Name withheld over privacy concerns. So Oliver is not this gentleman's real name. Now, there's so many red flags here. It's incredible, right? Where to where to begin, right? Where to begin? Firstly, before using any exchange, before signing up to any exchange, what I would do, what I have done in the past is I've done research, get onto Google, I start Googling the exchanges, find out which ones are trustworthy, which ones aren't trustworthy, which ones have got users, which ones don't have users, which ones are based onshore, which ones are based offshore, what the business of the exchange is in terms of how they make their fees, what their fee structure is, whether the exchange is registered with AUSTRAC or not. If they're not registered, why? If they've been refused registration, like INTJ Billing was, why is that? Right? There's a whole lot of things that I would have done before I even signed up to an exchange, like this gentleman has done. Right? Now, my videos here on YouTube, every one of my videos, you can see that it's like there's an overlay. There's an overlay in all my videos. Just trying to bring one of my videos up now so I can see the overlay, and it's not playing on my iPad. But there's an overlay on all my videos, so you can see on the screen there's my name, my email address, my YouTube channel. There is my LinkedIn profile address, my website address, my business logo. There's a whole lot of stuff there, right? Where if you're looking at INTJ Billing and you think, you're right, can INTJ Billing be trusted? There's all the information that you need, okay, to research my company, research me, figure out if what I'm doing is legit or not. All the details are there on screen. And I made that decision straight away before I started making these videos. Well, I want to be 100% open and transparent with people about what I'm doing. So here's all the information you need to research me, right? Because I am INTJ Billing. I'm a one-man operation at this stage. I've got a concept that I'm trying to turn into a business over time. But all the details are there. Now, this gentleman, with what he did, just signing up to an exchange that he knew nothing about, that he put no research in, that he put a large amount of money into, like it just staggers belief. It really does stagger belief that there are people out there who would fall for scams like this. And it's very, very frustrating because when companies like this set up such an elaborate scam, right, with the systems that they've set up with fake web portal, and to make it all look completely legitimate the way that it looks, right? It really makes you think. If these scammers had have spent their time doing something productive and doing something honest, they wouldn't be scams. And I think they probably would have done very well if they'd just been honest with people. But I feel sorry for guys like this who are taken with scams like this, right? Because these are very, like, to me, like as soon as I saw this article, right, there were so many red flags. Now, this guy, he recognized that he missed all the red flags, but these sorts of scams, they don't get me. Now, on WhatsApp, I get a lot of contact, okay? A lot of contact from people that I don't know. And just a couple of days ago, I got contacted by a supposed young woman who had the wrong phone number. She said, "Hello, are you David?" I said, "No, I'm not David. I'm Clarke Towson. I'm the CEO of INTJ Billing. Here's my website. Here's my consulting fee. If you'd like to continue talking to me, you need to pay that fee before you speak to me." Well, she continued to talk, didn't she? And then she sent me a picture of herself. And it was a beautiful young woman. And I said to her, "That's not you." She said, "Yes, it is." I said, "Okay. To prove that it's you, take a selfie. Take a selfie of yourself." And we know young women love to take selfies of themselves. Take a selfie of yourself with the age.com.au website in the background. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And she said, she can't do that. She's not really sure how to do it. I said, "Okay." She said, "You don't believe this is me, do you?" I said, "No, I don't believe it's you." And she said, well, that's up to you. I said, no, that's up to you. You need to prove to me that you are who you say you are. Take a selfie of yourself with the age website in the background and send it to me. Couldn't do it. So then I decided to send her a photo of myself. I said, here's a picture of me, right? It's a picture of me. And I sent her a picture of an elderly woman. And straight away she said, that's not you. I said, yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is me. I'm an elderly woman. Look, here I am, right? But she didn't believe it. Day in and day out, I get these sorts of messages on WhatsApp, and they are not young women. They are mostly young guys who are based out of Nigeria. Okay, they're using they're in like a call center or in a place where they're running these sorts of scams. So you've got to be very, very careful out there and very suspicious, right, of everyone, including. You've got to be really suspicious of everybody. Now, there was an article that came out yesterday about Binance. CZ, the CEO of Binance, there's a photo of him sitting on a rug. He could have chosen any other photo to have been taken of himself, but this particular photo is him sitting on a rug. Why he chose that photo is beyond me, because within the cryptocurrency industry, rug pull, all right, and that's what all these altcoins are. They're rug pulls where the founders and the people who get into them and start the coins, all right, pull the rug out from everyone else by dumping the coins on the gullible retail investors, right? So why did CZ choose to have a photo of himself taken sitting on a rug? Craziness. I mean, that's a big red flag to me, right? That's not a joke. It's not funny, right? Will Binance go the way of FTX? I mean, it's very concerning. Within the crypto, I guess the lesson out of all of this is within the cryptocurrency space, you have to be extremely cautious, okay? You have to be extremely skeptical. You've got to look into people, look into the businesses that they're running, look into whether they're legitimate or not. Now, within the cryptocurrency space, there are issues like Binance, for instance. Binance doesn't have a headquarters. They're not located in any one country or the other, right? So that's a red flag. However, the reason why they've done that is because of the regulatory regimes of various different countries and not being able to adhere, right, because of the unclear guidelines, right? Now, I understand that. So it's like maybe I need to come up with a checklist, right? Something like a checklist for these exchanges, a due diligence checklist of all the things that you need to do before you actually use an exchange. I feel sorry for this gentleman. This is a lot of money for somebody to lose. The service that I'm pioneering, I've got no no intentions to be taking large amounts of money like this and leaving them on my exchange, right? If this sort of money does come through my system, it'll be paid out straight away to the women and to the ladyboys that I'll set up hot wallets for on my infrastructure. It's very concerning. It's very, very concerning, this sort of stuff. I guess that there's lessons in this for transparency as well for companies like mine. So, I've got a list obviously of the people that I'm working with and their hot wallets and the people that I've set up hot wallets for. There's a lot of due diligence. There's a lot of stuff that's involved in the business that I'm pioneering to make sure stuff like this just never goes on, right? Never goes on. It's just such a bad look for the entire cryptocurrency industry when a company does something like this, right? And when somebody loses this amount of money, the feeling must be just terrible, right? Just very, very concerning. So yeah, some of the lessons are, please, before you use an exchange, investigate that exchange, look into them very carefully and try to determine if they're legit. Look at the founders of the exchange, look into their details, look into their background. Do they have the skills, knowledge, experience to be running that exchange? Verify the people. Look at their LinkedIn profile. Call them up on the phone, right? Sometimes most of the time it's going to be very difficult to get the CEO on the phone, unlike with INTJ billing. Call my number, you get me, right? CEO. But you've got to do as much due diligence as possible before you use any exchange, right? Any exchange, and particularly before you transfer large amounts of money like this. Anyway, that's it for this video. All the best, everyone. I'm Clarke Towson, CEO of INTJ Billing.